You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's WWE NXT After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's WWE NXT After Show.
I don't even know what music we're getting here.
Death metal.
Little death metal. It's rage.
Oh, wow.
Hello, everybody. Biggest for doing it. We are doing another WWE NXT After Show. I am your host, Ryan Clum, and I am joined once again with Miss Cathy Kelley.
Hello, everyone.
How are you doing?
I'm great. It's good to be back.
Yes. Not wearing the dress she wore, unfortunately, on Raw.
No. Special
Today.
occasion
Yeah,
dress.
but
NXT is not worth it.
no, I guess not.
Maybe
I guess
one day.
not. Someday. Someday. And sitting to her, I guess, left is international superstar Alex Koslov.
That's right. That's
one
me.
half of the forever hooligans for New Japan
That's
Pro
right.
Wrestling.
You got it. That's me.
Yeah.
That's me. And you're a man of hidden talents.
I am.
You first of all, every time that we start the show, you do a little dance. You do a little
My
dance.
little dance.
Yeah.
And then you just you did a death metal vocal. Can
Oh,
you do
yeah.
that just without any music, please?
The,
Whoa,
you know,
dude.
my
Sounds
sister.
like an 80-year-old smoker.
My sister listened to a lot of hardcore when I was growing up. She was
That's where you
actually
got it?
she was straight edge, like CM Punk did the whole X thing.
I
and
was straight edge in high school.
Were you? Yeah. It's actually fun. I was very familiar with the whole CM Punk straight edge thing because of my sister going through the whole thing.
You know, and it's funny that you say I was straight edge in high school. I mean, you'd hope everyone is straight edge in
yeah.
Yeah,
high school. I mean,
But most people
weren't. And I'll tell you,
What a
I
dirty
didn't
world.
drink or do drugs in high school, and I didn't call it straight edge. I just I didn't drink.
well, I personally followed always the motto of DARE: drugs,
There to keep kids off drugs.
abuse, resistance, education.
Did people dare you to take shots of tequila?
Well, alcohol is not a drug. I'm kidding. Yeah, and I would always take him up on it.
Good. All right, so let's get into NXT. We start off with coming down to the ring, Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy. Enzo on the mic, which I think this is the first time you've seen Enzo Amore.
Yeah.
Right?
I was right away. He was over with me because he has this crazy energy about him when he was doing it.
Yeah.
What was he saying? He was saying what?
Well, he said, first of
South?
all, they are certified G's and bona fide studs. And they got attacked last week. They got jumped by two guys that are SAWFT soft.
Wait, how do you spell it? S-A?
SAWFT. That is
Soft.
yes. That is
You
exactly
say
how to spell it.
Soft.
Soft.
South.
Yeah.
South.
Soft. I don't know if I'm
I
doing
love
it right.
it, but everybody got behind it, and I guess they've been getting behind it. And what's his character? What's the idea behind his leopard tiger?
I
gear?
think he's kind
Jersey
of
Shore.
Jersey
Oh, is
Shore,
that-
but if you call him Jersey Shore, he flips out. I think he's more like Long Island, New York.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
just
anyway,
another kind of stereotypical New York, but a different style than
they
we've
wear that
seen.
kind of attire.
I guess so. I guess he does
So
where
if I
he's
go to
from.
New York, I'm gonna find all the Jersey. Or if I go to New Jersey, that's how they'll be leopard stuff and
Yeah.
all around.
It's interesting
It's
ring
hot,
gear. Did you like his leopard print
Yeah, did you?
ring gear? You're the female.
I think
type.
I have leopard print tights.
Oh, do you? maybe he was
Maybe he
wearing
raided my
Kathy's
closet.
tights.
Weird.
Oh man.
So we get after that. Sylvester Lefort comes down with Dawson and Enzo, with Dawson and Rusev, and I don't understand what Lefort said.
Honestly, that really...
I didn't go back to listen to it, but
For me, it really draws away from his character. I don't like him because I can't understand a word out of his mouth. If I could just understand it, but he still had the accent,
Right.
I would like it a lot more.
he was talking about his money-making company of fighting legionnaires. So
I thought I was just not paying attention, but maybe I just couldn't understand him.
yeah, no, he's got a group of fighting legionnaires, is what he's telling us.
And also, you know,
Legionnaires. You could be a legionnaire.
Legionario. But like I just read a biography of his on WWE.com just to learn a little bit about him. And he, I guess, he's a former wrestler. I mean, he's a wrestler. And when he came to NXT developmental, he tore his ACL.
Okay.
And tore his meniscus, and he also damaged the bilateral.
Okay, yes, doctor.
That's all the technicality I could give you.
ACL is really tough to come back
yeah,
from.
of
I mean,
course.
Yeah.
like my mom had 2 or 3 ACL constructive surgeries, and it's like it takes you out for a really long time.
That's a bad deal, especially if you're an athlete. That's a big,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. So what he did is what he talks about in the interview is that he decided to manage. I don't know if his plan is to wrestle again. I'm
Right.
sure it is if he can recover.
I've heard stories of guys working through those injuries and like almost working without ACLs in wrestling.
Actually, Miro, I don't think has a ACL.
I've heard
or
Chris
Ames.
Daniels or one of those guys doesn't have an ACL. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy what the human body can do sometimes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, anyways, we get into the match here. Enzo starts off with Scott Dawson, gives him a couple punches, and quickly tags out and tags in the 7-foot Colin Cassidy. Let me see, Colin and Cassidy, they essentially they worked it over until Dawson takes over, and they start working over Enzo. Let's see here. So, I've just totally lost my spot. But I need to get
all right.
cards here.
It's all right.
So Colin and Dawson. Colin gets the upper hand. Enzo. Oh, I know what it was. They cut Enzo off with that like inside out clothesline.
Oh, wow, that
which was
was-
like insane.
Yeah, they look good. I mean, they looked vicious, and it looked a tad dangerous when I mean, he almost hit his neck. I mean, the way that he flipped over.
Yeah, almost landed on his head.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
They tag in, Rusev comes in, and Rusev has some really aggressive offense, which I really like. Lots of headbutts. He's just headbutting all over the place. Drops like 3 or 4 headbutts, grabs him up, throws him into the ropes, knees him a bunch of times.
Carries him like a baby.
Carries him like a little
it
kid.
fits his character very well, as he's supposed to be like this massive destruction force.
Yeah, definitely. And unique offense. Like, his offense is different than anybody else's.
He's a big guy, big traps.
Yeah, big guy, big traps. Bigger traps than Ryback's, I think.
Him
you
versus
think?
Ryback would be
Awesome.
amazing.
See, that's an idea. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, can you imagine if he debuted?
I mean, they brought Ryback to NXT several times, so why not do it again?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Both of them have big traps. Both are big guys.
Yes.
They could just be big guys, big traps.
Yeah.
Could be.
A pair of big traps.
He didn't do it this time, but when he wrestled Dolph a couple weeks ago, and he brought Dolph over to those was doing that knee thing, he just threw him out of the ring. He was a little nicer today.
Well,
and brought Enzo back into the ring.
Dolph deserved it.
Dolph did deserve
I'm kidding.
it.
I'm kidding.
I think that pairing was amazing though, because Dolph always plays like this ragdoll type
Yeah.
when he gets
Yeah.
when someone's that massive, and it just like it looked so good together.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
Going back a couple weeks ago, yeah, that match is what made me realize, because I had someone else to say, wouldn't it have been better if they just brought him in squashing guys? So for me, it made me immediately go, who is this guy? Because he took Dolph to the brink.
P.S. Could he not fit Cassidy on the
Well, it said Colin. Did it say Colin?
Yeah.
It said Enzo and Colin. He had their first names on there.
I know, but it was just doesn't he usually do the last names?
I think it's. He's
a flexible kind of
Yeah, he's
person.
flexible. He's an
So,
artist. I mean,
yeah.
it's
Too hard to spell.
sometimes he might do the middle name. You know?
But it's great that
Who's
he.
Bob? It's Ziggler's middle name.
Yeah, and it's great that he, his debut was against Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler is the kind of guy that's gonna, he's almost like Shawn Michael-esque. I
Yes,
want to say,
yeah.
in the way that he looks when he gets beat up. Looks really cool. He basically makes the
It puts other guys over.
Shawn Michaels and
Exactly.
Mr. Perfect is another one
Oh
I
yeah,
think
great.
of that
You know,
he's like.
yeah, it's like you watch as when you as a fan you watch it and it looks great, or maybe as a worker you watch it as like, wow, that looks so cool. But maybe as a fan, it just makes the other person look
Looks
so
so much
good.
better,
So
yeah.
it was great for Miro and Dolph. You know, it's a great asset to be able to do that.
Yeah, and the finish here was a little bit weird.
What, you didn't understand it? Clear to me.
Was it completely
Dude,
clear
5
to you?
seconds, man.
So, don't be. I think you caught the last letter. So, anyways, they're working over Enzo. Cassidy Enzo goes off the rope, but Cassidy goes over. Almost looks like he's gonna kick Enzo when he's coming off the ropes, but then he pulls his leg back. And he gets knocked off.
That was a little mess.
A little mess up, but then they immediately tag in Dawson, hit their finisher, which is a heart attack with like a flying leg lariat.
That was a finisher.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what it looked like, and the referee called the bell, said it was a 5 count. But if you look at it, the referee never reaches 5. He tags him in. He starts 2, 3, and he cut it off at like 2 or like 3 or 4.
Yeah, I mean, I actually counted. It was 5 seconds, and
I was looking at the referee's count though. Like if you counted, it was 5 seconds. But if you followed his count, it was only
So he
like
just
a
messed
3.
up.
yeah, I mean, whatever it was, obviously it didn't come off.
Yeah.
good,
Yeah.
You know, so
My guess is that might have been a change from the back, like maybe. It almost felt like maybe just playing devil's advocate when Colin did that thing. That was a mistake that then the back just said, call it, and they made a
I feel like the
fly
back,
on the back.
doesn't work on the fly like they do at like at Raw or at SmackDown. They don't do the same thing there.
There's somebody sitting there into the referee's ear. They can talk to the referee all the time. Happens on house shows, happens everywhere. They'll change finishes.
tell you what, whatever happened, it didn't come off good.
It didn't. No.
It didn't come off good. So.
But I love I think all these guys are really talented. And
Oh,
have
really? You think
all
so?
4 of them. I think so.
I
What do
don't
you
really
think?
so. I mean,
No?
No, I'm kidding.
You want to
No.
bury somebody?
No. Actually,
Go ahead.
No, actually, no. It's good that you say that because I love. I'm now getting to know some of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Enzo has got this little wild energy and
Right.
whatever, soft, you know. And Alexander is obviously really good. You know,
Mm-hmm.
a big traps, big guy. He can do a really cool spinning heel kick. I mean, so athletic for his size.
Right.
And Cassidy, I was with him in FCW, and this guy is cocky, very confident of his skills, and he's getting better. He's in better shape, and I've always seen such a bright future in him. Like I could see him like being like the company investing in him to like almost like the Undertaker. Like, okay, we're gonna put something as big as that on somebody like that
Really?
because he's young, he's big, and he can talk, and he's confident in himself.
That's a lot.
Wow.
That's a huge statement to say. That
So
they
he
were
just
doing as much
he
as
just
The
needs the right
Undertaker,
gimmick.
yeah.
What's that?
You just think he needs the right gimmick. Or the right
I mean,
persona.
how's his gimmick right now? I mean,
I think it's just a tall guy that's 7 feet tall that hangs out with
Yeah.
Enzo Amore. I think that's his gimmick.
he's not like this Brooklyn guy or something.
Right now, I feel like he's a little bit forgettable, unfortunately.
okay.
I think that he definitely has potential to work with,
Yeah.
but I don't know that
Yeah.
he is there yet.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Enzo's the mouthpiece, definitely there.
No, he's very green, but even though Enzo is the mouthpiece, Cassidy, he can talk. I mean, I've seen him cut great promos.
And as Enzo said, Big Cass is 7 feet tall, and you can't teach that, is what he said earlier in his promo.
I've taught a guy be 7 feet tall. I mean,
You have taught someone to be 7 feet tall?
I used to have a friend, and
Was he 5'4"?
he was like when we were younger. I was taller than him, and I made fun of him. And I was like, you see, you just need to get taller. But I'm a little taller, and then he grew to 6'5", 6'6", and the joke is on me.
Wow.
So
you take credit for that.
So I take credit for that. I think I inspired the fire within.
Awesome.
Anyway.
So next up, we have Bo Dallas, everybody's favorite NXT superstar, coming down to the ring.
Is so much better as a heel.
Yeah.
Because I hated him before.
You did.
And now I love to hate him because he's just so hateable.
Oh, yeah. All the boos and no more bows the minute he gets in there.
Totally.
It's perfect. Like, his character is perfect right now. There's
Right.
nothing that he needs to do. And honestly, I think that if he goes back to, being on the Raws and stuff, that That will go over
This is the
very
way to
well.
do it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this
Oh,
is
yeah.
definitely the way to do it.
Well, he comes in and he thanks his fans for all the tweets and all the touts and all the Facebooks and everything, and said it makes him feel good. It makes him feel like he can fly. Yay! And that there's some misunderstanding last week. He came out to cheer Sami Zayn because Sami's his friend, and everybody. This is a really tough business. And everybody needs a good mentor, and that's what he is. Sami Zayn is a mentor, even though Sami Zayn's probably been wrestling 3 times as long.
Yeah,
as
but you
Bo.
can say this. I mean, The Miz was Daniel Bryan's mentor.
That's very true.
And look at where Daniel Bryan is.
True.
Thanks
Top
to
of
The Miz.
world. That I
That's
the Miz should be walking around and saying that. By the way, like the only reason you're at the top is because of me. I guess he's not a heel, so he can't. But So when he comes back, he said he's going to give Sami a match, but not a title match. But then he says, "Hey, I'm not the commissioner. I can't make those decisions." But he's up for a match against Sami.
I love "This is my I hate Bo Dallas" sign. I thought that was
good.
great. Yeah.
And then he said, "Don't stop believing."
Yeah. I love it.
It's so cheesy.
As I was saying earlier, I was down there with Bo in FCW, and he was being pushed from the very beginning.
Were they calling him Bo back then?
Bo Dallas.
He was
I
Bo
thought it was
Dallas.
Bo Rotundo.
Actually,
Yeah.
Was he going by Bo
you're right.
Rotundo?
Yeah, Bo Rotundo. And he was this big baby face, and I could never personally get into it. I was like, dude over there mentioned that he looked like an Indian or something.
Yeah. Oh, he kind of does.
But
yeah.
I agree. But anyway, I never saw much. I didn't really get behind. I didn't personally feel it,
Right.
but they were pushing him hard because he had this great fire, great energy,
Yeah.
had this $1 million smile.
They tried to push him to the main roster a year and a half ago at the Royal Rumble. Remember, he came.
That wasn't a year and a half. They tried
Was
to.
it this last
That
year? Or
was
was it the
It
earlier.
was
year?
like
Maybe it was this
6
last
months
one.
ago because they had this feud with him and Barrett.
Okay, maybe it was this
Raw.
last Royal Rumble. I was
Yeah, it
thinking the one before, but okay, maybe it was like
It was
7-8 months ago.
very recent, and he honestly didn't go over. Like people didn't like him. He was kind of forgettable, and now I think that he's in the perfect
Yeah.
spot. I think this whole like overly confident, kind of delusional character works very well for him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I do too.
Absolutely. When they tried to put him on the roster, he won some kind of NXT
Yeah.
Yeah.
Royal Rumble, which earned him a spot in the Royal Rumble.
Which he
Then
was in there for a
he
good
was there,
30 minutes.
He
or so.
eliminated Wade Barrett on
Yeah.
it, which is a great way to like really push a guy, right?
And then he beat Wade Barrett the next night on Raw,
Right.
pinned him clean.
Except he didn't really have like a kind of character that people can really like
Yeah.
get hooked on to.
Right.
And I didn't feel it from the very beginning.
No.
Like that's what he was doing. I mean, he has great fire. He makes things look good, just kind of like Dolph Ziggler. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But now, as a heel, what a difference that makes.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, so entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah. We go next to Renee in the back with CJ Parker.
Man with the dreads.
The man with the dreads.
I was
ahead.
just gonna say I really like CJ Parker, but this promo didn't work for me.
No?
No.
Well, he said Tyler Breeze is in love with his outer self, while CJP is in touch with his inner self.
That's kind of poetic, don't you? I mean, how
Yeah,
does
it's a
that not do
family
it
show.
for
He
you?
shouldn't be talking about being in touch with himself. But he says Tyler
dirty
Breeze.
mind, man.
I know. Tyler Breeze hoards his love like a beaver building a dam.
Hoards?
Well, hoards. While CJP spreads his love like a phoenix spreading his wings.
All those words sound dirty.
Do they? They sound filthy.
Hordes, spreading, all of that. Just
Wrestling sounds dirty sometimes, as Cathy has made me realize when she giggles at me.
the small package.
Fatal 4-way,
That's
a
true.
4-way
That's a
or a
good point.
3-way.
That's a
small
good point.
package. Yeah, she's a little kid giggling in
I
the
think
corner.
porn was born out of wrestling.
I'm sure it
You
was.
know, in the carnivals over there. That's where.
So, anyways, CJ is attacked by Tyler Breeze, who takes a photo with him. CJ's been photobombing him recently, and
Selfies? Is that? She's been taking selfies.
yeah, and yeah, I was expecting him to say something like "that's a photobomb" or something cheesy like that, but he
He
just
never
takes a
says
picture and
anything,
goes
yeah.
off. Yeah. So I like Tyler Breeze. I think he's a very interesting character.
I like the feud that they have going on. I think that the promo could have been a little bit stronger. It seemed kind of like space filler. Or, like them, like as we said, since you can't have these characters wrestle every single week since they tape 4 in one day, it seemed kind of like they just wanted to get them on the show in some capacity.
Build them up.
As opposed to, doing a really solid promo.
And you got to realize, I mean, they're trying to get they have 70 guys in development.
More, I think, now.
Yeah, and they're bringing more. I'm hearing they're going to get it up to somewhere around 100.
Yeah.
What?
So they're going to have 100 guys down there, and that's not on TV. That's people.
See, that really upsets me because honestly, I feel like they should, when they know, like they have so many people. Why have so many people? Why not just? It's like quality over quantity. If you only have a certain amount of money, then why wouldn't you try to splurge a little bit? And
they're a huge. I don't know that they have a certain amount. They're putting a lot of money into it, and I think they have the theory more of throw enough crap against the wall and see what sticks. Where you bring all these guys in, they're bringing in a lot of guys that aren't wrestlers. I mean, they're not just bringing in the Sami Zayns and the Chris Heroes and guys from the Indies. They're going and looking for a 6'5" guy that blew out his knee playing football and that career's over. But he's this big dude.
Yeah.
I think what you said. I think why so many guys is I think their psychology is okay. If we can get at least one John Cena out of all of these 70, 100 guys, then it's going to be worth the investment. I mean, I think something along those lines.
And they have to do that. No, there's no more territory
Honestly,
system where you used to have. There's 100 guys at NXT, but there used to be a lot more full-time pro wrestlers back in the day than there are now because you had all these territories. Every state had their own.
But it creates such a harder environment for the people that are working down there because then there's more competition and you're not getting paid as much. So you're like, why am I here wasting potentially 5 years of my life and not getting anything out of it? And then they just send me on my way. Like that just honestly that sucks.
It sucks.
What's a better? What would you say a better alternative?
I would say like when you are looking for these people, instead of hiring 5 people, instead of offering 5 deals out to, like say you have 10 people, instead of offering 5 deals out there, all for, let's just say $40,000 a year. Okay. Offer the 2 best people because the 2 best people are going to reject that offer.
But you don't know that. I mean, Alex, I'm sure you know too. You can take 5 guys, first day of wrestling class, and you'd have no idea who in a year who's going to be good, who's not. I mean, it's weird sometimes who can figure this out.
There are a couple people that I know that have been offered deals and they turn them down because they can do other stuff. And that would have been amazing. Yeah. Like, would have been so much better than anyone that they have.
You have to roll the dice, but I mean, if it's worth it to you, that's what you got to do.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, I think if they can get a couple John Cenas out of that whole bunch, I think it'll be worth it for them. So,
but what if you could have had someone better than John Cena, but they turned down the offer?
What I mean by John Cena is, just the guy that makes some money.
I know, but what if they offer the low ball offer to one person?
Man, like someone made more money than John Cena.
The 5 people, and that person could have been even better than John Cena.
No, yeah, but I think that you need to. It's kind of like you got to almost play a numbers game. Like you can get a couple guys, and if they don't turn out, well then okay, you've wasted your own time. But if you got like enough guys, okay, these 3 didn't turn out, but okay, these 2 have potential to become a John Cena. It's kind of like that. But
especially you got to think injury. You got to think injuries. Yeah. You got to think all that. They have the space for all the guys now. They have a space for 100 people. That's why they built this new place. That's why they have all the coaches. They've been expanding. So.
And they are spending so much money on this the new developmental thing in Orlando. It is a big investment. It really is.
They have a couple guys down there that haven't debuted on TV that I'm really looking forward to seeing, like Samurai Del Sol, who's now Kalisto down there, and
Send him back to Mexico. I'm kidding.
Del Sol, Sammy Callahan, Sean Ricker from out here in LA. I'm looking forward to seeing all those guys. So there's a ton of really good lot of talent that we haven't even seen on television
That's very true. And can I just point something out, like about what's his name? The one that takes selfies all the time.
Tyler Breeze.
Tyler Breeze, man, I tell you, when I was in FCW and Triple H was talking, he came down and he said, "Oh, this kid looks good," and then Dusty, I was like, "Oh, we're gonna push him. We're gonna make him champion of FCW." They made him champion of FCW to everybody's shock. It's kind of how it works. That's like the political game.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've heard
okay,
that.
the big bosses, they think he's got something. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
gonna make him champion, and kind of like it'll make me look. I don't know. It's a weird thing.
I've heard
over
that
there.
you hear someone say, "Oh, that was a good knee lift from the top," and all of a sudden knee lifts are being taught throughout all the next day.
But they pushed him. They made him champion, and I'm not knocking the kid. He's young. He's got a great look, but at the time, he didn't really show much dimension. He didn't have much character. He was just this guy that looked good in the ring. He was solid. He was trained by Lance Storm.
He's a Lance Storm guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, but there wasn't much to that title.
Not much to the character.
Not much to the character, and him being the champion didn't really work out as much. So I personally wasn't so much behind him. But this thing that he's doing right now, this furry jacket and these selfies and this gimmick, it almost seems perfect for him. Like it fits him.
Yeah.
Like Zoolander.
Yeah, I love
know what I
the
mean?
fierce Zoolander poses.
People
and he
are
does.
kind of comparing him to a Ziggler in his look and saying that he's
Right.
kind
A
of
little bit.
infringing on that kind of.
They look similar, but he can't help that he looks like
Yeah.
Ziggler, I guess,
But
right?
that's one of those things. I love the character, but
Yeah.
is it copying too much of Ziggler and Zoolander?
I don't know that it's copying.
not, like,
but I
making
see
it
what
his
you might.
own.
I don't know that he's directly copying Ziggler, but I can
He's
see.
definitely
'cause-
copying Zoolander.
Well, because the people I know people that know him down there, and they told me he was really
know
studying.
people.
I know people who know people, and I was told that he was really studying the Genius and really studying Rick Martel, and a lot of those guys was really studying those wrestlers to get this character down. That's what I heard.
Zoolander is way better than Rick
Zoolander,
Martel.
yeah.
all
Oh,
right?
come on, man.
Blue Steel.
The Rick Martel and
The merman.
arrogance.
Man.
All right. So we move on to the women's match for the night. Paige, the WWE or the NXT Women's Champion, versus Sasha Banks from New England, from my old stomping grounds. They actually talked a lot about these girls' backgrounds a little bit. Paige, who's we're talking at least second, maybe third generation. We're not sure.
I don't know if we mentioned it last week, but the documentary
Fighting
on
with
her
My Family.
is
Oh, yeah.
amazing.
Amazing.
Like, it gives so much background to her.
And it actually chronicles her during her signing. Her and her brother are actually both trying to get deals, and they actually this documentary follows her as she's getting her deal and as she's going off to NXT. So it's very, very interesting.
She's got as bright a future as the Diva division is
Yeah.
gonna get in the WWE because I mean she's so talented, she's so unique. If only they gave a little bit more time to the Divas on WWE TV.
Honestly, it's only a matter of time until she gets brought up, and I feel like she's one of those girls that can really make the Diva division something. Like, she might be one of those people that makes them like have to give more time to the girls.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and then Sasha Banks as well, another very talented wrestler, very good pedigree. She comes from the New England Pro Wrestling Academy, formerly Killer Kowalski School, run by a couple friends of mine, Brian Fury and Todd Hansen. And
Screw your
she
friends.
Yeah, screw them. You may actually run across them in Ring of Honor, actually.
Screw your friends, man.
But this is the same school Triple H went to. Kofi Kingston went there. I believe
Screw Triple H.
Fandango went there as well. So there's a lot of people who've come out of the same
Fandango?
school as Fandango.
Go.
Yeah, I think he came out of there as well.
Oh, cool. Screw him.
But anyways, so we get started. Happy birthday chants for
Which is
Paige.
really awkward. The announcers even had to say something. They were like, "Well, this is from a month ago when her birthday was over
When it actually
SummerSlam
was her
weekend."
birthday.
Because I mean, I get it because they taped it however long ago, but still kind of
Yeah.
awkward.
Yes.
Happy
So anyways, they go
birthday.
back and forth a little bit. Paige eventually gets Sasha down, kind of had the test of strength, but holding her down. And Sasha pops up for a beautiful quesadilla roll into a pin. I know I'm sure you've done it. Did I say that right? Quesadilla?
Perfect.
Awesome.
Quesadilla also stands for. No, actually, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, or wheelbarrow roll. I know him as that.
Oh
too,
yeah.
but-
Quesadilla sounds so much
Yeah,
better. right?
quesadilla is because
The
we're in
Mexican
Southern
term.
California, we use Mexican terms here, but wrestling terms. But quesadilla, beautiful quesadilla roll. Then she backed Sasha into the corner. I love this, where she just throws those flailing elbows. Paige just goes nuts, throwing the elbows, puts her onto the ground, puts her foot on, and just stomps her into the corner. And then Sasha, great. I've never seen this before. Schoolboyed her, but almost spiked her head off the bottom turnbuckle.
That right there, I'll give you some inside information. Straight up school of Norman Smiley. Because Norman Smiley works with the girls.
Yes.
He's the technical wizard, literally. And so that's...
I've heard he has so many crazy little things you can do. Like Norman, I've heard he's just a genius.
Yeah, he's just technically so good. And he is in charge, like he helps the girls out. So that was like straight up Norman Smiley stuff.
It's funny. I've heard other people sitting there. You're watching it and they go, "Oh, that's a Norman move. That's a Norman move. There's Norman." When we come back from commercial, Sasha is working. She's got first a what do you call it? Like a camel clutch, and then she moves it into a rear naked choke with the body scissors.
So, yeah, but right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just really worked that quite a bit. You know, Paige would start to come back. She'd fight and right back to that hold. You know, worked that several times.
That's Ricky Steamboat school.
Mm-hmm. So we got a little Ricky Steamboat, a little Norman Smiley in there. Then let's see.
Then she fights out of it, and then they go back into
they go back to go outside. Paige hits. Paige was on the outside, and Sasha was on the end. She hit her the headbutt, and then like the 10 knees from the outside, which looked really good. That was cool. And then they kind of went back and forth, and Sasha hit a crossbody on Paige, which Paige rolled through for the win, for the 1, 2, 3. Which I thought you were saying this is one of the best women's matches you've ever seen.
Man, I swear I don't watch. I'll be honest with you. It's not like I watch like women's wrestling as intensely as I do, men's. Anyway, but I've seen enough. Mm-hmm. I've seen enough, and I've been in FCW, and I've seen all of those girls' matches, and that was, man, wow. Yeah. Those two girls, that match was technically sound, and I can't say that those two women look like women wrestlers. Yeah. They just look like wrestlers.
I hope this is the prototype for like what we're going to see in women's wrestling in the next 5 years. Beautiful women that are legit. Like I always think of like Ronda Rousey and now the UFC fighters that are.
Of course, you think of Ronda Rousey.
Or Ronda Rousey, Misha Tate. These beautiful.
He's obsessed with her.
These
She's
or
awesome.
just any of them. Misha Tate. Any of the beautiful women fighting UFC. You've got Gina Carano. These beautiful women that are serious athletes, and they're not models
Jennifer
that
Lopez.
are They're not models running around, and that's what I really like about Paige and Sasha.
Jennifer Aniston.
Yes, as well. They are actual female wrestlers, but still beautiful. They can fight, and they're still feminine.
And yes, it is going to be the prototype.
Yeah.
That is the prototype. I mean, how long was that match?
I don't know if it is the prototype because they just brought in a bunch of girls who were former models and stuff.
We'll
so
see.
You don't
We'll
know.
see.
But they're not gonna. I'll tell you, if they don't pick it up, they're probably not gonna pick it up like Sasha Banks or Paige. So
No,
they're probably not gonna be.
I don't know if anyone can pick it up like Paige since she's been wrestling half her life at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are some that are naturals, but probably not. So you're probably not gonna see them showcase as those girls. You know what I mean?
I'm really excited for the girls that they do have on television right now on NXT though, because you have Sasha Banks, you have Summer Rae, you have Charlotte now, who I think is going to be amazing.
Should be good.
And
they give them
Paige,
time.
God, I sorry, I'm just so almost like I'm so impressed by that match. It was so technically sound. All of the match was great. I'm watching as a worker, and I'm impressed. I'm shocked at just the overall result, the product.
Their pacing was phenomenal.
Just God, I'm so impressed. That was so awesome.
All right, so we go. Actually, after that, Sasha was devastated after this loss. She was obviously. Summer Rae was in her ear last week about making her mark in this match. Paige tries to console her a little bit. She sees she's unconsolable, so Paige starts to take off, and Sasha just Pearl Harbors her from behind, hits her with her neck breaker, and takes off.
Well, yeah. I mean, they definitely made a mark just with that match. How long was that match? Would you say 10 minutes, 8 minutes?
At least, yeah, they at least had 10, I think.
So impressed. I can't stop. You know what?
The next week you're gonna be,
You know
oh
what?
man, I'm just so impressed.
I'll tell
by
you
those."
something. I would put that as the main event of NXT.
I agree.
Honestly,
That's the best match of the
that
night.
was my favorite match. Yeah.
The main event was good, but this was
In
my
fact,
favorite.
This is the most memorable out of all of
In
them.
fact, this definitely was the match of the night.
Yeah,
That was the match of the
Yeah.
night, in my opinion.
yeah, I agree. And then
Let's
we
go
s-
back in time.
We see.
Can we just have a show with like Sami
Sami Zayn.
Zayn and then Paige wrestling? I mean, not them together, but those two matches somewhere in it.
I'm sure we will get that
An
at some
epic.
point. So we go to the back. We see Sasha and Summer together, and Summer asked her how it felt. She said it felt awesome, and thanked Summer so much for bringing out the rage in her.
Yeah, we talked about
The silent rage.
Silent rage.
last week how they had the diva light in the shot while they filmed the promo backstage, and then this week, I don't know if you saw it, it wasn't the same effect, but you could see parts of like equipment on both sides.
Oh, I missed it. I wasn't looking
it
for
wasn't
it.
like the actual lighting that was shining on them, so
Right.
it was
wasn't
a little
as
different,
bad?
but
Okay.
it was, you could see like the lights and the, you know.
Yeah, I mean, right now, it wasn't like last time, so, yeah.
Yeah.
I still can't tell whether Sasha's a face or a heel now, because like
She's
even though-
going. I think she's becoming.
even
I
though
think
we
she
saw
just
her
turned.
becoming, like, even though that seemed like she might have turned in the backstage segment, she still seemed very sweet.
Really?
Yeah.
You think she seems sweet, saying
hugged-
she brought out my rage?
She hugged Summer Rae.
Yeah, but that's a bad guy. She wasn't sweet to the good guys. She's sweet to the bad guys.
Right.
You know?
Regardless, it seemed
you know,
off. She's
You
like
know,
a
Jabba.
tweener.
You know, Jabba the Hutt in Star Wars. He had that little crumb thing, his little rat that was nice to him, but it was mean to everyone else. So I just had to bring Star Wars into NXT.
You're a Star Wars
Oh
geek.
yes. I'm so excited for the new movies. But anyways, we now go to the main event: Leo Kruger versus Xavier
I
Woods.
just got tweeted.
I'm
Did
sorry.
anyone realize that Sasha Banks used Damian Sandow's finisher?
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant. It looked like it was about the same finisher, but you're saying she used one arm or
and
something?
it was similar. It was a neck breaker, but she only had the one arm
Oh.
crossed over it, where Sandow has the double.
Right. Who said that? What was the name of that
On
person?
Twitter, Joe Jaggler.
Joe Jaggler. No,
Yeah.
man. No.
Similar. It's similar, but wasn't exactly
Totally
the same.
different, man. Jesus, man. Get out of here.
Rude.
Get out of here. It's a unique move. Sasha Banks created it.
Totally creative. I mean, it's said, oh, well, he does it with two. I'll do it with one.
Sasha Banks, not good.
So,
good pair of
anyways,
Cheerios.
we move on to the main event of the evening. Two men you are familiar with, Leo Kruger and Xavier Woods.
Yes, I know
Yeah, you know them. I actually liked it. I thought this was a really good match as well, actually.
Xavier's entrance is really
Tight.
cool.
It's fun.
Yeah.
The water, like, and his
was
hair,
the
and the way that the light hits it is awesome.
Yeah,
That
it's
was
so
tight.
cool.
Not quite as cool maybe as Triple H's water spit, but very cool.
It's a
debatable.
different kind of
It's a
cool.
different-
Triple H's is intimidating. I feel like Xavier Woods
Yes.
is like fun.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So-
Yeah.
No, it was so perfect. Yeah, it was so good. The angle on it, he was just like,
You just want to dance. You get excited. I
He
mean,
rehearsed that one well.
Yeah.
No, it looked good.
that's a fun act, I'm sure, to be in live with when he comes out, and just to
Oh,
be
yeah.
in that audience is, I'm sure, a lot of fun.
The first couple rows might want to wear like a poncho or something.
Maybe they sell dollar ponchos
like at SeaWorld.
out there. So very interesting. Kruger wouldn't lock up with Xavier Woods, which I kind of didn't like character. Like,
What you got a problem with, man?
I'll tell you, I like Leo Kruger
You got
a lot.
beef with him? You got a problem with him?
I don't have beef with him, but I like Leo Kruger, but I want him to be creepier. I want him to be like a Jake the Snake Roberts. I want to be scared when he walks out. And I feel he's a little like pandering to the audience and he's trying to get cheers, and I understand cheers feel good, but I want to see him scare people when he walks out.
You want him to be a little bit more clummy.
Yeah, yes, frightening like me. I want him to be cold, I mean, that's just, he had these promos of the, my eyes have seen what they've seen,
love
and my
that
hands
line.
have done what they've done. I loved it too, and I almost thought like this is going to be like a guy who was in prison in South America and was just like real kind of crazy, creepy guy. And he's off, you know, doing the little teapot spinning, and it doesn't seem scary to me.
Maybe the little, what do you call it, teapot?
Yeah, we did a little teapot spin.
The little teapot spin. Maybe that was a little goofy.
Yeah.
Maybe I can see what you're saying. Maybe he'll weed that out.
Yeah,
eventually,
and I would like to see that. I would like to see him more along the lines of a Jake Roberts, kind of that, you know, very cold kind of killer type of thing. I want to get scared.
I see
you know
that.
what I mean? I
Yeah.
want to get scared by him. He's not scaring me, but I think he's an excellent wrestler. I thought this match was great. Kruger's being chased around by Woods. Eventually, Woods goes to grab him. Krieger grabs his arm and almost pulls it into the ropes, and then gets in and just starts working his arm for the majority of the match.
A really long time.
A very long time. I mean, this is old school right here. This is, I gotta believe this is Dusty Rhodes. Some Dusty Rhodes this influence right here with a long.
Who hopefully doesn't get fired soon, by the way.
Hopefully
They're
not.
taking out all the Rhodes.
All the Rhodes.
family.
Dusty Rhodes doesn't really get involved in the, you know, how to work the match
Okay.
necessarily.
That's more
so
the
much as the
agents.
show part. Yeah, it's the agents. Probably, you know, who are the agents over there? I know Norman. Bill DeMott. Who else? Joey Mercury. So I mean, that's just, you know, that's like the model
Yeah,
right
I've
now that
even
WWE is using, like
I've heard
body
even,
part psychology.
I've heard
That's Arn Anderson,
I've heard
basically.
Cesaro's even actually done some agenting at NXT in the back.
Cesaro knows how to. I thought he's just, you know, I know that he's good at doing the swing, but I didn't know he was good at anything else.
Yeah. He can he's apparently agent as well.
Oh,
So
I'm kidding.
So yeah, he worked the arm just the whole match. Xavier was fighting back. He'd start to get something and then just cut right back down on that arm. I thought there was a really cool kind of like hammerlock. He put him into a hammerlock and a forward face lock and almost suplexed him onto his arm, which I thought was a very cool move. And then. Woods eventually fights back with one arm. He goes for the honor roll and gets caught into a beautiful spine buster, which I thought that was going to be it. I thought that was
Had you, huh?
Had me.
Didn't have me.
No, didn't have you. You didn't got caught on that one.
False.
I thought look at her.
But then I also saw that there was a lot more time on the Hulu account.
Oh yes. Well, you never know. There could be an interview at the end.
Somebody's using their brain, Clum.
I know.
Come on, use your Clum.
I try. Yeah.
Can I? There's so many words that we can come up with your name.
Yeah,
Clum.
no,
Clumster.
I've, you know what? I've heard them all since about third grade. So.
I like it. I think it's cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's been a lot of money in therapy over that last name. Kids are cruel. But
yeah.
anyways, eventually Woods fights back with one arm, goes for the arm roll, hits a spine buster, and eventually will hit the honor roll and the boot for to the face for a win. I don't know what that boot is called.
Oh yeah.
You know
yeah,
where you said you used to use it, where he puts the boot on the face and then bumps
Yeah,
backwards.
he grabs the hands of his opponent and then he puts his boot in the face of his opponent, and then he kind of falls backwards. So the point is he's pulling the arms down, but the foot stays straight.
Right.
So the impact goes on the face.
Right, the foot's going up, the face is coming down.
Right. So it's a cool move.
Yeah.
You know, you can get anything over, really. You know, if you push a guy and you can get anything over. It's cool. Yeah. So what do you think? Do you think that was main event worthy? I mean, it was a good match.
I thought it was a good
obviously.
match.
I thought it was a good match, but I don't think that it was memorable in comparison to the girls' match that we had earlier in the night. Overall, I feel like it was a decent NXT, but it wasn't my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, did we only have 3 matches tonight?
4 matches, right?
We had
maybe 3.
Enzo and then Paige. Yeah, we only had 3 matches tonight.
Yeah.
But
I'm glad that they all got decent time.
They got time.
That was nice.
Yeah.
Especially for the girls, but
At least, yeah, the semi-main and the main got a lot of time.
If you're only going to have 3 matches, though, I wish that there was some more story development in there. And I feel like while some of the things progressed, like with the Tyler Breeze and CJ Parker thing, and we got to see Sasha and Summer backstage, I feel like there should have been more development because you really don't know what's going to happen in the coming weeks.
Right. And I think, with NXT, it's a little bit of a different type of show where with Raw, we know who the players are. We know who the roster is. We know we are building this person to this.
Who the mid-card is, who...
Right. And I mean, these guys have already made it there. With NXT, we're getting... All right, we're going to try it. We're going to throw this guy on TV to see how this happens. Some people are on them, and they get pulled back. It's a lot of trial and error. And they're right. I mean, and there's a lot of politics involved. Yeah. Chris Hero is on there, and now he's been pulled off.
How long has he been out of NXT?
He's been off TV for the last month or 2. Oh, okay. But he was a very big part of the show up until that point. So, I mean, a month ago, we didn't know who Alexander Rusev is. Now he's on every week.
Yeah.
And this guy could be a very big part of it. So, and that's a kind of a cool thing I think about NXT is that as soon as someone gets awesome and makes that main event level, they're usually going to get moved on, and now we need someone else new in the main event. We're always going to be changing out. Bray Wyatt 2 months ago was main eventing most of the shows. Before that, it was Big E. Before that, it was Seth Rollins, and now they're all gone.
Big E still comes back a lot. I feel like,
and they will.
Yeah, I think it's very smart of Summer Rae to still be doing it as well. So.
Gotcha. All right, so I think that is it for this week's NXT.
And they had a taping today.
Oh yes, we've got new fresh stuff.
Obviously, we don't know what happened, but
yeah,
4 more shows.
There's a NXT taping today.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Xavier's the new champion.
Is it today or is it yesterday?
I think it was today.
Okay, yeah, I know it's coming up.
I think they do it Thursdays.
Okay. So anyways, I guess we will wrap up here for this week's NXT. Cathy, Kelley, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Catherine Kelley or here doing a bunch of shows.
Yeah, and you can find me on Twitter at Alex Koslov, COM. And you can also catch me wrestling for Ring of Honor September 21st through the 23rd. Me and my partner Rocky Romero, the Forever Hooligans, we are defending our New Japan titles against the American Wolves. So come check us out in Philadelphia or go to ROHWrestling.com and order that thing, or else.
Didn't I also see, I think you're wrestling the next day for the Ring of Honor titles in a triple threat I thought I saw.
Really?
Yeah, I saw
don't know about that. But...
Surprise!
So anyways, you can catch me on Twitter at Cluminator. We will catch you next week.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.